So in today's session, we'll just start with the FA related configuration. So these are the basic setups which we have to complete to start with the fixed assets. After that, we'll proceed with this transaction process where we'll be testing the asset creation in the different ways and asset related different activities will be performing in the system. Okay. So first we'll create the value sets for category, location, asset key, flexible related segments. Then we'll create the structures and instances and we'll maintain the values. Okay, so we know this setup is same as EBS. In EBS also you can create only one structure for any category or location or asset key flexible. Okay, the same is applicable here. The option they given where you can create multiple but only one you can have an active structure. When you talk about configure system controls, it's a one-time setup. Whatever the structure instance you create, that you can select here. Once you save it, later if you create another structure instance also, that cannot be used. Okay, finally this here, whatever we could do, that would be equal to same as EBS. That means only one structure. Here you may call as one structure instance we can have for each and every key flex field whatever we have in the fixed assets. Okay, so we'll go to the project and we'll start with the required configuration.
Lakshman, just a question here.
Yep.
So I'm just wondering, what is the advantage of having the instance? Like we have seen this in the chart of accounts setup also.
Yep.
So, what is the major advantage that we are achieving when this functionality is introduced?
So the major advantage here is, if you have one, if you take example of the same chart of accounts, we'll create one chart of account structure, and if there is any need to use the same structure in the different ledgers uh, with a different value sets, in that case that can be useful. Like again, you don't need to create separate chart of account structure with all the definitions. One structure you can make a copy, and in one instance you can have one set of value sets. In another instance you can have a different value sets. Apart from that, so you can maintain the account trees also, nothing but where you can maintain the parent and child relation between the segment values. Those you will be able to map at instance level only. So that's how these are the points to address, but as per the process they made it as a standard practice where they taken this functionality from the PeopleSoft application. Okay, you don't
Okay.
see.
So I'm just
Yeah,
thinking, um, yeah.
yeah,
So
please go ahead.
I have seen that projects like the client is using 9 segment chart of account structure, and then they aligned with their enterprise structure, which is having like for instance 11 segments. So they have to almost go for a re-implementation, right?
Hmm.
And then, so is it like can we use this functionality to change for future
No, no, no.
chart of account segment?
No, no, we cannot use that. Say, even in EBS or in any version, like it's all about if they want to change, they may not go with the re-implementation. There are certain practices which are available in the market where redesigning the chart of account, that sort of some services. I mean, some consulting companies already built some tools with the help of that. We could able to do it, but it is not going to help in that aspect. Okay, this is as per system process we have to do. When we are doing this activity, we could see that options how that can be used in the process where you can change the value sets and you can change the just account hierarchies. You will be able to override. Just will be doing as a kind of a standard process by noticing those benefits. That's all.
Okay,
Okay,
thanks.
fine. So here we'll start with that assets related. I'll just search for asset flex fields. Okay, so we can just go with this task: manage fixed assets key flex fields. So this, under this task list, we'll have a multiple tasks which you can do in the sequence. First we'll create the value sets. Just let me drag it to right. So we are not getting this option. Fine, anyway, this is the value sets, and here we can create the flexible structures and controls and all. You can go one by one. Click on go to task icon. Let me check, is there any value set definition or just 1 second. I'm just verifying the setups are exist. Better I'll go with the set calendars to check it. Cloud with the cloud name so exist. Okay, fine. First, what we'll do is, so just for our understanding, we are going to define these, otherwise not required. Just in this environment, since it's a vision, okay, you can find the default definition which are done by Oracle, which is a one-time setup. Okay, but here we have option to create, okay, the structures instances. So but one only you can keep it as active. For our practice purpose, we'll go and create these things. Okay, so when you talk about value sets for category, we'll create one major, another one is minor, and for location we'll create, a structure like, say, country, state, county, city. Asset key, like, yes, we'll create as a, so, asset key only. Okay, we'll go and create these few value sets, then we'll proceed with the structures, instance definition, and the relevant values entry. We'll see the system. So the task is manage fixed assets flex field value sets. Just click on go to task icon. Just say create. Okay, seems there are some definitions existed in this system with the which starts with the cloud. I'll just go with new, some X cloud. I'll just go with this as a access prefix to manage that values uniquely from existing records. Cloud, say major. So major value set, you can select the module as a assets, select validation type. So value data type is a character. Value subtypes are text. So major segment related values you want to enter in how many characters. I'll say here 30 characters. We'll say save and close. And we'll create one more value set which we'll be using as a part of category segment related category structure. Within the category structure, we are going to create two segments. For each segment, we'll use separate value set. I'll say cloud minor. It's a minor value set. Okay, based on the value set, if you want to make some dependents, you can do it accordingly so that we'll be able to easily filter the values. So let's make it as a dependent value set, and then system will be asking if it is a dependent. This will depend on which value set, which is independent value set that we can specify here. So value data type is character, subtypes a text. Here also I'm giving 30 characters to write the description or name for values which you are going to maintain within this. Okay, if it is a dependent, this will depend, which is the independent value set where this will depend. So we created fine. We'll search and select the value. Say save and close. So we created value sets for category key flex field related structure. Okay, what are the structure we are going to create? Within that we are going to have two segments. For each segment we created one value set. Now we'll create the value sets for location key flex field related structure. So as we discussed here, say we are going to create four segments. For each segment we'll create the separate value sets. Say X country, just with say cloud. So independent character text. I'll say 30 characters. Say save and close. Okay, we'll create one more value set for state. Cloud state. So validation type is independent. Select value data type as a character. So here also we want to make some dependency. Accordingly you can select it as a dependent, and you can specify the which is independent value set for this independent value set. So I'm creating all the value sets as a dependent. So save and close. The next value set for counting. Okay, counting. So we have to create one more value set for location key flex field, that is for city. So city. So independent. So 30. So just we're done with the value sets for location. Now we'll create one more value set for asset key flex field. So there will maintain one segment for that one key would be enough for us. So cloud asset key. So the key name we want to write within max 30 characters. Say save and close. Okay, we created required value sets for these three key flex fields, and now we'll go and create the structures for the same. Say save and close. Okay, the next task is manage flex field, manage fixed assets key flex fields structures. So here for this three we'll be finding the relevant key flex field. First we'll go with the category. Search for category key flex field. So category flex field. Go to manage structures. So in case of EBS, you can create only one structure. The same will be using. We cannot create more than one. But in the Fusion, as per that key flex field structured definition process, it will allow you to create more than one, but only one you can use. But already as per the system, if you think setup already this setup, I mean to say, so system controls already configured. That means whatever you choose over there, the same will be continuing. So we cannot make use of other definitions what we do. That means here also only one structure. Always you can have only one active structure. So, but just for our understanding, in case of fresh instance, how we go about the setups to replicate that, just we are trying to do it. Okay. So already one structure we have within this. Just for our understanding, we'll go and create one more structure. We'll say category flex. So delimiter. Then save it. So only one we can have. See, there is a message. You must enter no more than one enabled structures and all. Okay. So just for our testing purpose, we are creating. For that reason, what we do is, what are the existed one we have, which is enabled, that will disable it. Just to test this. After once we testing is done, once we complete with the structure definition, one more structure, then later we'll enable this, and the same we'll be using since it's already used in this environment for system controls. The existing structure will disable it for some time. So disable it. Now system will allow you to create one more structure, but you cannot use it. Save it. We'll create the segments. Just click on create. Okay. So segment is major. So it's going to be first segment. Display width same. I'm writing 30 characters. So here also, like in EBS, how many segments you can create, the number remains same. Max you can create 7 for category, and location also 7 for asset key, 10 segments. So, so we have with the X cloud major category. We given just name as a major. So here major category. So since it's a major category segment, we'll be qualifying it as with segment label called as major category. Just select it. Then say save and close. And let's create one more segment within this category flex field structure. So minor category. It's going to be second segment. So 30 characters. Cloud minor. Select segment label called as minor category. Then say save and close. Then say save and close. Now we have two structures within this category key flex fill. So let it be later. We'll come back and we'll enable this previously defined one. Okay. So we'll just do the deployment later. Okay, or else what we'll do is, see, we done with the structure. Against the structure, we have to create the structure instances. Just create structure instance, then we can deploy it. Cloud category instance. This instance we want to create against which structure. So this is a structure we created. So set as these two segments are required for us. Required, then say okay. Then say save and close. So you can have only one active structure. When you talk about instances, you can have multiple. Now we have total 2 instances within this environment for category. Okay. Now we can submit this category key flex field for deployment. Just click on deploy flex field. So no errors, completed. Fine. Just we done with the category. Now we'll create the structure for location. For location also same practice we have to follow, where we can have only one structure as active. So location, so manage structures. Just if you want to create one more, you have to disable the current structure what we have in this environment. Just click on edit, so disable. So save and close, and we'll create the new structure. So location flex field. Select any one of the delimiter, then save it. Just create required segments. So country, Okay, so first segment is select default value set code for this segment. Okay, so then say save and close. The next segment is state. The second segment within the structure, say 30 characters. Column name is going to be segment 2. Six cloud state. Just select. So since the state, we can map state label where it will allow you to track some property tags at segment level, state level. So we have two more segments to create. So next one is county. So third segment. So we have a separate value set for this which we created. Select the same. This is save and close. One more segment is city. Description same. It's going to be fourth segment. Prompt, short prompt same. So display with size is same. So column name is segment 4. So select value set. So value set name is xCloud city. So this is the one which we have created for city segment. Then say save and close. So we created structure within the location key flex field. Now against this structure we have to create the instance. Only one active structure you can have in category or location or asset key. Okay. Now just proceed with the structure instance definition. You can have multiple instances, but only one we can use. Click on create. Location instance. Select structure name. Xcloud location flex field structure. So these are the four segments we have. Now you can select the same into instance. Select any one of the segment, then click on edit, then mark it as a required. Select state. Say OK. And say save and close. Now submit location flex field for deployment. Done. Completed. Now we'll go and create the structure as well as instance for asset key flex field. You can see the deployment status is deployed. Now say asset key. Search for asset key flex field. So here we have. First we'll create the structure. Only one active structure we can have. So as a part of this vision definition, already one structure is available. In case of first instance we'll be creating, but here already one is available. That will disable, so that system will allow us to create one more structure just for our practice and understanding. Just disable it. So save and close. Okay, just click on create. Say cloud asset key flex. So save it so that we can create the segments within the structure. It's active. Click on create. So only one segment, that is asset key. segment 1. So assign value set to this segment. Cloud asset key. So save and close the definition of asset key flexible structure. Now we'll create the instance against this structure. Here we can create up to 10 segments within this, same as EBS. So say manage structure instances. Then click on create. So select structure which we created, asset key flexible structure, and select segment as required into this instance from structure. Just select and click on edit. Then mark it as required, say OK. Just save and close. Now submit for deployment. Just click on deploy FlexField. Just say OK. Okay, you can see the deployment status has completed. So done. Okay, the next step is we have to create the values for these three flexible related segments. Okay, before we go and create the values, we look at the other point. Configure system controls. Okay, we have to configure the system controls. Here is the task manage system controls. If you click on this, go to task icon, we know this setup will do at instance level, right? So again, it's a one-time setup. What are the structure instance you select here that remains same all the time, you cannot override. So already the category flexible, category structure instance, and for location instance, for asset key instance already selected. So we have to continue with the same. Whatever we created just now as a new definition, those we cannot use only in the first instance. So this is a one-time setup which we'll be doing. So whatever the additional definitions we do, that may be just for our practice and understanding, the same you cannot use. Since these are already selected in this environment, we have to proceed with only these instances, category, location, and asset key. Just for our understanding, we created. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll go on to enable the previously defined definitions. The same we can use for further configuration and process. Only the difference is, okay, in EBS you cannot create additional. Here you can create but no use. First say category. Go to manage structures. Search. So first disable whatever we just now created. One second, please. Okay. So just disable it. So save and close. Now we will go and enable which is used in this environment. Only one we can use. So again, it's this structure only. The instance is created that is being used in this environment. Make sure that is active. Okay. Since we did some changes, we can deploy it. So instances we can have multiple, no issues. Or else if you want to understand what are the different instances we have, you can see here. One we created, other one earlier, it's available as a part of vision definition. Okay. So the structure instance name for category is category only. Within this, how many segments we have, we'll go and see, so that we can create our own values within that segments. So we have two segments. The value set code is FA major category, FA minor category. Just we'll make a note. Okay, this we will use to add the values for our configuration related information. FA major category, FA minor category. Fine, okay. Okay. Now we'll repeat the same changes to location key flex field. Go to manage structures. Search. Just disable whatever we created just now. Just disable. So save and close. Sorry, here we have to enable the first structure which is already created, that we have to enable. Just for our practice purpose we disable, because system won't allow to create more than one active structures. So we have two instances, we can have multiple, but only we can use one. So the instance name they given as the location. So within that, how many segments we have, we'll go and check it so that we can create the. So its value set names are FA, country FA, state FA, city FA, building. Okay. FA country, FA state or county, FA city, FA building. Fine. So these here, these two are marked as required, these two are not marked as required. That means those will be available but won't be available as a mandatory. So I'll just will go and mark all are required. Say save and close. Submit this location flex field for deployment. Other key flex field is asset key. Go to structures. So disable what we created and enable which is already existing and being used. Just we'll look at the structure instances and we can find out the value set which is there as a part of the predefined instance. So instance name is asset key. Click on edit. Within that we have a value set called as FA asset key. Okay. So just I'm making note of these key flex this value sets because we'll create our own values and we'll be using for testing. Okay. It's there as optional. You may make it as mandatory by selecting as a required. Just done. So deploy asset key flex field. Say okay. So as a part of definitions, we'll be creating our own categories. So for that, just we'll go and maintain the few category values under these segments, under these value sets. Okay, we'll create the few category values. So we can proceed with this task. Manage fixed assets, flex field, value sets. Search for this value set. Say manage values. Click on search so you can see all existing values within this value set. But we are not sure which values are used to define the categories. So just for that reason, we'll create some new value which we can use as a part of our configuration. So value we can say X buildings. Enough one value for this. Another value set is FA minor category. Click on manage values. Here also we can see many values which are existed. Okay, we'll create one or two values here. So this is a minor, which is a dependent value set. So here is X office buildings. So this office buildings will be under which independent value? It's nothing but X buildings, which is from major category. So X buildings. Says save and close. We'll create one more value when we are going to test different scenarios that can be useful. So here I'll say X shopping complex. So this also falls under independent value called as buildings only. So these values would be enough for our testing. Done. Now when you talk about the location key flex field, within that, what are the segments we have? For those segments, these value sets are mapped. So we'll go and check whether values are available or not, since it's just for location definition. So you can use the same multiple times, there won't be an issue. So we'll check it. Just click on manage values. Click on search. Fine, here we have few values. You don't need to create them. The same will be available like state, cities, and building related information. Now we'll check any values available for FA asset key or not. If available, that would be fine. Otherwise, we'll create our own values. Click on manage values. So we know how to create the value. So if already values are exist, we no need to create it again. Fine. We'll just add one value whenever this asset key is not applicable. To select one default value, we'll create one value. I'll say none, not applicable. Fine. So we have three. I mean, we created value sets for these three, and we created structures and instances. And for these three key flex field related segments, we have values. Okay. The next step is we have to configure the system controls. In case of fresh instance, okay, this task we can perform. Since this is a visual instance, you can see already that setups are completed. Task is manage system controls. Okay, if it is a fresh instance, system will allow us to select category flexfield instance, location flexfield instance, and asset key flexfield instances. But here already that setup is completed. Only the option is you may just change the enterprise name so that accordingly that will be printed in our reports. And asset starting number, that also already specified. We cannot do any changes since this is a one-time setup for entire instance. So next task is, so we have to define the physical year. So here is the task called as manage physical years. Just click on go to task icon. Say create. Okay. So we'll provide the name X Cloud physical year. Then save up to here, so that system will allow you to add the physical years into this calendar. Physical year is say you can start from 2015. This year date range Jan 1st 2015 ends with December 31st 15. Okay, just save it. Now just click on add automatically. System will be adding rest of physical years, the sequence 16, 17. In case of EBS, just will create one record and will use just down arrow, it will create. But here, since this is the ADF page, we have to go with this add function. So this is how you can create physical year for the year ranges for the existing assets. Done. Enough for up to 2025. Now we'll create the depreciation calendar. Once we're done with the depreciation or asset calendar, we know both are same. So here you can use this task, manage asset calendars. Click on go to task icon, say create. Like when you create asset calendar, we have to make sure that the period names are exactly matching with our accounting calendar period names. So here say X Cloud depreciation calendar. So physical year. So periods per year 12. Look, you can go with the period suffix as a physical. Then just define the periods. We have to define the periods for 1 year. Rust system will create automatically. Here period name should be same as accounting calendar. So as per accounting calendar period name looks like J capital and hyphen. So here we'll start with the based on our physical year 15. Okay. For the start date and end date, first John 1st 15. This period start date is this. Same period end date is John 31st 17. Sorry, 15, right? Just save it. Now click on add row. It will take the start date and end date. Only you have to give month, just Feb. Since here we given period suffix as physical, it will add year here. Okay, so that we don't need to worry about. Just click on add. Just complete up to 1 year. March. Make sure that you are just following the same period name however you have in your accounting calendar. Otherwise, we know this will get failed. You cannot calculate depreciation. You cannot send to GL. It's everything will get failed. So April, May, June, July, August, September.
Lakshman, is there any utility to loading for this task or manually we will create it if the company is 30 years back?
So we can use the spreadsheet. We have rapid implementation spreadsheets. Okay, for calendars. That by using that you can load into system directly. But even there also you have to prepare in the spreadsheet. Okay, you
Okay.
can use any one of the option. So again this period name is again case sensitive. It should be same as accounting calendar. December. Done. Now you can save. Then you can keep hitting on this add. It will be adding the periods. Feb, then March, April, Let's create the periods up to 2018. Okay, fine, up to December 2018. Enough. And say save and close. So we're done with this define pro rate convention. Okay, we'll just continue with these setups in the next session.